Hey guys, it's Izzy here, and today is going to be my August wrap up. But first, there are way more important things to be talking about. That being the Black Lives Matter movement going on in the United States right now and basically the whole world. So much has been happening this week in America especially, and I just want to let y'all know, continue to fight for justice for the members of the Black community, because it's crazy that this keeps happening and it does not need to be happening. Nobody deserves to die or be paralyzed for these things. Like, it's crazy. Just, if you see stuff on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere online, or hear people talking and it doesn't sound right, please research. Only research for yourself. Educate yourself, form an opinion for yourself, and that will help us move forward with more people being educated and understanding what is happening to the members of the Black community. And I just want all of you to educate yourself and continue to fight for justice in our country. That being said, vote in November and whenever you have the chance in local elections, everything. A lot of people don't think local elections are important. They are. So just please do that, educate yourself, vote, and continue fighting for justice. Roses, their debut album, I think it's one of the best-selling albums of all time. So now we will be getting into the wrap-up. So the first book I finished this month was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. This is literally the 5th book in the series, so I can't say much, but I will say this has been my favorite so far. As you can see, my tabbing changed a lot of how I tab my books. I don't stick them all out like that anymore. I put them closer. So this has been my favorite so far in the series. I have yet to start the next book, but I will, I promise. But our next book is Knight Errant by John Jackson Miller. This is in the Star Wars universe. So the positives for this are the atmosphere. We went to a lot of different worlds in the Sith side of the universe, and they were all so different, and I really liked that. And then our next pro is the angst. There was so much angst between Kira and what was his name? It begins with an R. Rusher? That's what it looks like, but I don't remember. Because this did not get a high rating. I don't remember what I rated it, but like a 3 something maybe. But the angst was really good. We didn't have a romance between them, but I think this should have had a romance. But yeah, the angst, I really enjoyed it between them. So the cons, I felt like there was no character development whatsoever. They were all the same in the end, and there were so many characters, but Kira is the only one that we really got any real information on. The others were just there. So I don't think there should have been so many point of views in this book. And then the plot, I feel like there was no plot. It's just action, 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 and no downtime. So that is just a lot for a reader to take in. And then this isn't really about the book, but about technology in the Star Wars universe. This is set like 1,000 and something years before Star Wars A New Hope, and I feel like the technology hasn't advanced at all. They have lightsabers, they have space travel and all that. Nothing really has changed that much. If you want to check out my book review, it will be linked down below in the pinned comment with all the other books that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Then we have the Canterbury Tales. This is by Geoffrey Chaucer, and this is actually a translated work. Barbara Cohen translated it, and Trina Shart-Hyman is the illustrator. So this book was a complete me problem. I thought this was the original work, but this is translated into modern English. The stories still tell the same tale, and I thought this would be all of them when I bought it, but it is not. As you can see, it is really short. This is only 4 of the stories, so that is a complete me problem for not doing enough research. So should I read the whole Canterbury Tales at some point? Tell me down below in the comments if you think it will be worth it. Then we have The Prince of Tides by Pat Conroy. This book is so long, and why I didn't get enough books. I did get enough books done, but I didn't get as many books done as I did in previous months because this book is very dense. The writing style is absolutely beautiful in it, but it is very long and dense, and I could only read so much at a time. And I felt like I read a Pat Conroy book earlier this year, and I felt like the characters were very similar to the characters in that book, as they're Catholic in the South, which that is not that common, and probably especially not back in the 60s and all, and this is taking place. And I just felt like there was a lot of similarities, like between childhood trauma and depression, suicidal thoughts. Which, yeah, that is very common, but in every single one of his books, if that's how the main characters are in every single book, then that's kind of boring. That's basically the same. It's not the same story every time, and I do think the way this story is told is very interesting. Tom is telling his sister psychiatrist, like, the story of their life, trying to explain why his sister Savannah is in the situation that she is in, and I do think that was a very interesting way to go about telling a story. Some things in this book were totally unbelievable, like, oh my gosh, how would that even happen? But it is a very beautiful book. It's a dark book, and please research trigger warnings before going into this. Self-harm, depression, rape, racism, and so much more. It's all sexism is all in this book, so please be sure to do your research before reading this, because a lot of this stuff is very shocking and all that. Then we had the last book that I finished, and it is Into the Black, the Inside Story of Metallica from 1991. So the camera did cut me off for the second time today, so I'm just going to end it here. The Metallica book I did really enjoy. I did learn about the band. My only complaint was I felt like the writers were kind of cocky, and they thought that Metallica was the best band in the world and that no other band matters. Nothing else matters. But I just didn't think they were giving the other bands enough credit. I get Metallica's one of the most influential bands in the world, and that they are a great band, but you should give credit to other bands and not act like they're terrible because they're not Metallica. So I am currently reading a book and will be finishing that tonight, and that is volume 2 in the Sandman comics, and this is by Neil Gaiman, and this is called The Doll's House, and it is the 30th anniversary edition. I do really like the art and the coloring and all in this book, and it does look like we have a lot of representation, and this coming out 30 years ago. That is really awesome to see. Our first little the prologue was in Africa, and like a tribal tale, and I thought that was really cool because I'd never seen that done in a comic before. I'm Black Panther, but I haven't read the Black Panther comics. And then the one that I just got done reading, the volume in it, was kind of this man who has been, he gets visited by, I don't know if it's the dream guy, I don't know, maybe the Sandman who visits him, and he gets to live hundreds of years, and Sandman's like, okay, do you want this to be your time? It's not his time yet. So I do think that was very interesting, starting in like the 13 or 1400s, and we got to the like 1980s or 90s. So I thought that was really cool, and I want to see how else this story will continue, but I will be finishing that tonight. But that will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell if you want to be one of the first to know when I upload videos like this one. And again, I recommend checking out the links down below in the pinned comment. Those are links to my book reviews. I go into so much more detail there. I know this video was really scattered, so I highly recommend checking out my book reviews where my thoughts are more gathered, because again, so much is happening in this country right now where it is very hard to focus on reading and everything when there's so many more important things to be focusing on. So again, educate yourself. That is something that I am so big on. I tell everybody, do research, educate yourself, and that will get us going in the right direction. Bye, guys.